Hi ladies, welcome back to Bernina Club. This month we're doing some fun things with some notebooks, and the first thing I'm going to show you is your page for your foot book. So this month it is all on pin tucks and twin needling. So if you have a look at my page there, I've done some pin tucking through the middle of my work, and I've done some twin needling on the outside of my work. I've cut out a couple of the flowers and just stitched them down with a button, and I've put a little information here about the pin tucking that I've been doing on here. So it's just a little bit of fun. So that's my page for the foot book this month, and on the back I've just done a little pocket, and my instructions that I sent you off are in the pocket so that I remember what I've done. And this was just some fabric that I had left over that I sewed up to form a pocket. So that is your page for your foot book, and I'm going to show you a new pin tucking attachment we have for the machine. And for my other one, because I'm doing two books, I have used my pink and white fun fabric, and I've done exactly the same, but I've used darker colour thread for my pin tucking, which I think look fantastic. And I've done for my twin needling, and I've done pin tucking through the centre of my fabric again. So you can have a lot of fun with this. So today, firstly, I'm just going to show you how you do the twin needling, and then show you how you do the pin tucking. So I'm just going to use one size twin needle today. So I'm going to take out my ordinary needle, and the needle size I'm using today is a 2.5 twin needle. Now they come in packets like this. These are the Grommets twin needles, and these are just for standard cotton fabrics. You can also get a stretch twin needle, and so you would buy a stretch twin needle, and the top of it would be blue, and that you would use for stretch sewing. And if you're sewing up your merino jerseys for winter, buy the 4mm twin needle, because it's got a nice wide separation between the needles, and it does a lovely hem. So your 2.5 twin needle we're using today, and the foot we're using is the number 32 pin tuck foot. Now there are so many different feet. There's a 3 groove, a 5 groove, a 7 groove, and a 9 groove, and it's the amount of grooves underneath the foot. So this one is a 7 groove, and I can tell if it's the right twin needle for the right foot by sliding my twin needle down, and it goes between the bars. That is the right needle for the foot. Alright, and the instructions for the foot also tell you if you have got the right needle. So on this machine I'm using a 430 today. I'm just going to put my twin needle in first, and the flat to the back, it's just like a normal needle. And I'll just do some twin needling first, and then we'll do the pin tucking. So I'm just going to put the normal foot back on, but I am going to thread this up a little bit differently. Now some of you ladies may not know, but at the front of your machine here, you've actually got a little tension disc that goes from side to side. So I'm going to thread one of these threads on the left hand side of that tension disc and in the left needle, and that's going to stop my threads from twisting. So I'm just going to thread it. Remember, you can't use your needle threader, but if you put your sewing foot down, you can see the eye of the needle very easily. Because of the foot, it actually has a white band on the back, so it helps you for threading your needle. So always put your foot down when you put your needle through the eye, and you'll be able to see your needle better. Very handy. But lift it up when you're threading, because otherwise it won't go in the tension discs. The second one I've lifted, just to show you, I've lifted the thread stand up, popped that on there. I've had some of my customers not know where that was, so I thought I'd show you. Behind here, and this time I'm going to slip that on the right hand side of the tension disc and in the right needle. Alright, so I will cut my thread on a little bit of an angle to make it easier to thread. Put my foot down so I can see the white behind, and then I can thread my needle very easily. Now, because I'm using a twin needle, I have to be very careful not to break a needle because they're $7 each. So when I'm twin needling, I'm going to just run this down here to get a guide. I'm just going to have it on straight sewing first and about a 2.5 inch length. So I'll just do a row of straight sewing first to show you. And you don't just have to sew straight because you can sew as you normally sew on a normal stitch. Now I'm going to pick up a fancy stitch and it's just the running zigzag. Now if I go and sew this, I'm going to break a needle because this stitch automatically goes right out to 5.5. Now I've got a 2.5 twin needle, so I can only sew to 3 widths, so I need to take my zigzag down. So the reason why is because a 2.5 millimeter plus the 3 width I've done goes out to the capacity of the machine to 5.5. So I've taken my width down and I always go a little bit less. I've gone to 2.9 and I'm going to lengthen my stitch length up to about 2. And I'm going to get a really fun row of the running zigzag stitch, which I absolutely love. And you can change your stitch length as you're sewing. I'll take it down so you can see. And that is just a basic stitch called a running zigzag, and look how effective it looks when you're twin needling. Now you can choose any fancy stitch you like because you just have to make sure that you make it the right width not to break a needle. Now for the newer machines, we have a button that we push and we tell the machine we put that size twin needle and it will not let us sew it any wider than is possible. Now I'm going to do the blanket stitch, and this looks fabulous on a twin needle, but I'm making sure I make the height longer so that it's not so close together, and I'm going to put the length on 2.9 and the width on 2.9. So I'm just using straight rows so you can actually see the stitches clearly because I think they're fabulous. So this is the blanket stitch and it looks very, very, very clever when you use a twin needle. One of the other fancy stitches I like on this machine is it's a scallop and it's number 141 on the 430, but it's a very, very clever stitch. So I'm just going to show you it, but I need to make sure I narrow it down, go just below the 3, and I lengthen it a little bit. So I've gone to 2 length and 2.9 width because it's a scallop, so you have to be a little bit careful. I very much like this stitch. So have fun with your twin needles. You can buy a 1.6 twin needle, you can buy a 2mm twin needle, a 2.5, 3mm twin needle, a 4mm twin needle, and you can also now buy for the bigger machines a 6mm twin needle. So you can have an awful lot of fun with it. So I won't do any more twin needling, but it's just to show you you can have fun doing different stitches. Alright, so those are the stitches that I have just done with a twin needle. Now I'm going to take my ordinary foot off and I'm going to take my sew plate off and I'm going to thread a cord up through my machine for pin tucking. So I'm just using similar to an 8 pearl thread or bigger, but with this machine the easiest way to do this is to drop your feed dogs down and to pop your plate off just up, and you're going to, I'll take it off to show you. You're actually going to thread your thread right up through the opening of the plate. Then you're going to thread your cord through the eye of your sew plate. Thread your cord through the eye, and then you're going to carefully put your sew plate back on. So take your bobbin case out so you don't jam your bobbin thread. and just sit it there and then push it down and it clicks into place. Now what you want is this cord to run freely. So don't close your door if you've got a thread cutter, because you might cut your cord by mistake. So leave your door open. For the newer machines where you can't leave your door open because it won't sew, you will need to use the new attachment I'm going to show you in a minute. But everybody else can do it this way. So you put your machine back onto straight sewing. You can only do your pin tucking with straight sewing. Put your feed dogs down, back up, sorry. Put your sew plate back on. And now I'm going to do pin tucking. So pin tucking is when you are running a cord with your twin needle, your 2.5 twin needle. It's a very tongue twister. And I'm using a 7 groove pin tuck foot, which is number 32. So I can sew anywhere I like doing my pin tucking, and I can sew over my other designs. It's absolutely fine. And whatever shape you do, when you're doing it, obviously you can do it straight, but that's a little bit boring. Whatever shape you do, when you do your next row, you're going to use one of the grooves on your pin tuck foot to go over top of the cord you've already done to form a lovely row beside it of hem stitching, of pin tucking, sorry. So I just run this over and I feed it watching my previous line I've done and keeping it nice and even, so I get a beautiful row for my second row. It's so clever. So see how it's nice and even, because I'm using my pin tucking foot to make that. Now I'm just going to cut a little piece of fabric so I can show you how you can just do your page. I'll cut a little piece of this fabric. So when you're doing your foot book, you can just lay a bit of fabric over the top and you can just do pin tucking over top of your piece of fabric as well. So I'm just going to sit my fabric down. If you're worried about it moving, you could spray it with 505 spray. So just sew over your piece of fabric to hold it. You can use a bit of pin tucking as a feature and it will hold your fabric and work. I'll just do another row, but I'm going to use the new tool that we've got out. So take your bit of cord out of there. Now, this is just for this job we're doing, and it's a little gadget that Bernina had brought out that looks like this, and actually it goes up this way and it sits on your machine. Now you'll notice on your machine, a lot of the machines, you've got 2 holes right beside your machine, and this has a hole. I'm going to bring it down here so you can see it. It has a hole that lines up with the first hole, and it has a little hook that lines up with the second hole. So even though this machine doesn't need this to do pin tucking, I can still use it on this machine if I want to, but it's designed for the 7 and 8 series, and then you just simply screw up your little screw here. You get a proper little screwdriver, but I'm just going to tighten it with my hand just to show you. So that little screw is going in there, and you thread your cord through that little eye. It's actually easier, ladies, to actually do it first, but I just want to show you. You just thread it through the eye and you'll see it coming out the other end. There we are. And there I have my cord. Now wouldn't this be a great attachment to do your gathering up? So you can put your little rolled elastic through there, zigzag over it and gather it up. So perfect for sharing. So I'm going to do another row of stitching, and now I don't have to worry about shutting my door. I can shut my door because that's what you have to do. And this time I'm going to use my right hand groove and I'm going to stitch down beside it. So however close you want your pin tucking, that is how the grooves you use. So you've got 7 to choose from. and I'm going to use my right hand groove this time and slowly stitch over my stitching I've already done to form a really lovely design. Look how easy that is. So you've got this coming out here and it feeds perfectly even. So I'll do some stitching going the other way now. And just sit your fabric there and go over your fabric to make a cool design for your foot book. And the only thing you have to make sure of is that you have got this cord going freely, and if you obviously won't have it on a board like I've got it, so I'll just cut a piece off, and I'm going to do another row over that one, and I can go either way, so I'm going to put it on the very, very close one to show you how close you can get. It can be very close, but you must go nice and slow so that it feeds nice and evenly. Isn't it fun? It's good fun. I love doing pin tucking. Now if you're going to do your pin tucking on a blouse, you can see just from the small bit that I've done here, pin tucking is going to pull up your fabric, alright? So when you're doing pin tucking on a garment, you need to either allow more fabric for your pin tucking or do your pin tucking first and then cut your garment out after you've done your pin tucking. So it's very, very important because it will pull up your fabric because it's making these little humps on here. So that's how easy it is and how fun it is to do a bit of pin tucking. And don't forget when you're doing your twin needling that you must remember to take your width down so you don't break a needle. Alright, so that's what you're doing there. So have fun with that because it is really, really good fun to do. So now I'm going to take off my pin tucking foot 32, take out my twin needle. Now your twin needle, make sure you keep it in your packet because you do not want those points to get damaged. Keep it in your packet and then you've got it all ready for next time because they're $7 each, so you do want to look after it. I'm going to put my single needle back on and thread that back up. So I'm going to just take one of these threads out and it's all done, and you can put that back down, and now I can use my needle threader to thread my needle, oops, like that, and put my ordinary foot on, and then I'm going to undo my little screw, maybe not. There we go, and put that away. So that's all that little hem stitching attachment is. I keep saying hem stitching, pin tucking attachment, beg your pardon. So pin tucking attachment. And it comes in a pack like that, and it's $57.20. So the 7 series ladies, the 8 series ladies, you need to buy one of these to do your pin tucking. But for all you other ladies, you can do it the first method I showed you, but this will fit on most of the machines as long as they've got the 2 holes. Alright, so that's that one. Now if you have a look here, you can see this gorgeous apron. So this pattern is in, I'll come round this side, is in your latest inspiration book that you get with Bernina Club. So you're going to have the pattern for this and for the oven mitt inside this book, and here it is here. So you can see how different it looks. She's used the most gorgeous fabric that we have, and this is the little oven mitt down here, which you've got on the right hand side, and we've clipped it, we've clipped it to the apron. So here you are here. So you've got your little clip and you've got your little oven mitt, which I think is super, super, super cute. It's just a really good size just to get your trays out of the oven. And then it's got a little dog clip on here, and you clip that back on, and you're always going to have it at the ready. So I think it's very, very nice. It's cute, cute fabric, and you tie a little knot through your ties, and you have eyelets at the top of your apron. So it's a very, very sweet pattern. I like that. And at the back, I'll show you. It has a couple of little pieces of fabric across the corner, and again it's tied through here, and I think it's a very, very, very cute little pattern. So that is in your book this month that you're getting, so you can make everybody those for Christmas. So they always have wonderful ideas, but that particular one we liked. So that's what that one is. Now, today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a wonderful book. So as soon as we've had a little break, I'm going to show you that, and you're going to absolutely love it. So I'll give you a sneak preview before you go away, and this is a notebook cover. All right, so that's what we're going to be making next. So I'll see you soon.